In this video, I'm going to be breaking down 10 simple things that you can do in order to become a successful real estate agent in 2022. If you had a great year, like many are coming off their best year ever from 2021 and the craziness that was happening in the market, I want to make sure you double it this year. And if you didn't have the best 2021, well, these 10 things are going to help you make more money, save time, and reduce your stress in order to make sure that this is the best year of your career. So without further ado, let's dive into the 10 things you can do right now in order to get better results this year. What's up, guys? My name is Mike Sherrard. Thanks so much for tuning in as always. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please make sure if you get any value from this, just smash the like button. Let me know what your biggest takeaway is and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss another video. Now, number one is identifying your unique value proposition. This is something that not many people spend enough time doing, because here's what you need to understand is that there's so many agents in every single market, and if you can't clearly explain to a buyer or seller as to why you were different or what's going to make your quality of service better than anybody else's, you're not going to have longevity in the market, and you're going to be going up against top producers with more money, with more exposure, with more recognition, and you're not going to be able to defeat them in listing presentations or buyer presentations. So what you need to ask yourself is, if the seller was to ask you, why should somebody work with you versus the number one agent in your city, you need to have a pretty good answer for that. And this is because when people are looking at who they choose to work with, if the service is not drastically and noticeably better choosing one person versus somebody else, then usually if the service is only slightly better, or if they don't really know why one person might be better than the other, they're just going to work with the one that they already know or the one that they talk to first. Number two is getting clear on your messaging so that you can focus more on direct advertising. This is something that really transpired in 2021 with the rise of content marketing. And a lot of people are, again, riding the fence. They have no idea who their target avatar is. They have no idea what their niche is or who they're specifically serving. So it makes it really difficult through ads, when you're running things like Facebook ads and Google ads, to tailor it to that target demographic. One of the best ways to identify your messaging is to start to put out things like YouTube videos and content. So videos on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, in order to see who's resonating with it, because we have the data, you have the analytics, and you'll be able to see in the comments who is really enjoying the content you're doing. And by dialing in your messaging, that's going to help you with your scripting. It's going to help you with your listing presentations, your emails, your nurturing, online follow-up, everything. And it all boils down to putting out content, which you need to start doing this year. Now that leads seamlessly into point number three, which is focusing more on intent-based content marketing. And there's a vast difference between marketing and advertising. Marketing is free and it's essential. Advertising is paid and it's a luxury. You do not need to advertise in order to build a very solid business. I have agents in my organization that have done over 80 deals in their first year entirely free through YouTube content. The reason why I'm saying you need to start focusing on content marketing like YouTube is because it's intent-based, and it's a really great way that gives you evergreen leverage. It's evergreen in the nature that it lasts forever if you optimize it properly, which my free training shows you how to do. If you want to drop a comment, I'll give it to you. But it's also intent-based because people are searching on Google and YouTube, and Google owns YouTube, to find answers, right? To find out how to sell a house, to find out about a certain community or about a certain city they're looking to relocate to. It is much more intent-based and interest-based, like other platforms like Instagram and Facebook, where people are going there to find interest-based content like memes and videos and information and whatever the situation is, whatever they're interested in, right? It's not as much intent-based. 70% of the searches on YouTube start with how to, right? How to move to a certain area, how to stage your property, how to sell a house. So these are things that you need to start looking at, because intent-based marketing, giving yourself leverage, is powerful. For example, a case study that I use frequently is Suman, who's in my group at EXP, and he did 87 deals in his very first year entirely free through YouTube. And the power of this is that when you start looking at the views he gets per day on his channel, it equates to about 4 weeks or 1 month of content being viewed. So he's essentially prospecting 1 month every day on autopilot for free versus the average agent that might at best prospect 2 to 3 hours if they're diligent enough to even keep that consistent for a long period of time. Number 4 is starting to understand how to advertise. So once you dial in your marketing, then you can start to pay for advertising, lead generation in terms of, Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, Instagram ads, things like that. But when you do that, I want you to focus in 2022 on actually learning how to do it. One of the things that a lot of people struggle with is they just watch a tutorial like is on my channel and they just regurgitate. Well, we all understand what happens when you regurgitate information. It's the same thing as asking you to do some of the math equations you did back in university. I was in engineering. They were like 3 pages long. I was regurgitating that information. I couldn't do it if my life depended on it right now, because I never actually learned how to do it. I just remembered, regurgitated, and moved on so I could get my degree. So the same thing goes with real estate. If you want to start advertising, learn how to split test, learn how to identify which ads are performing best, which ones aren't, and how to, again, kill the ones that are not doing well and double down on the ones that are, so that you're not wasting a ton of money like most people. Number 5 is becoming a master of your CRM. This is something that I will preach forever, because if you talk to any top producer, like the many that are in my group at EXP at the Wolfpack, all of them are crushing it with their CRM, right? They all understand where their leads are. They all understand exactly how to follow up with them in order to convert, nurture, and turn them into more transactions and just close them in general. A lot of people are continuing to rely on manual follow-up with online leads when they're starting to do advertising. And the problem with that is that it honestly takes massive amounts of time that nobody really has, which is why so many people let so many leads fall through the crack. But also it's just servicing what you have, because you have to understand that the cheapest business is going to come from the people that you've already sold to. It is much more expensive to go out and acquire a new client in terms of time, energy, attention, and money. So if you can properly leverage your database, you're going to scale your business. Number 6 is creating SOPs, or standard operating procedures, or basically just efficiencies for everything. You have to understand that if 2 people do a $400,000 deal, one person made more money. Sounds a bit crazy, but let me explain. One person spent more time doing that deal and had more stress. So when you start looking at the fact that time is money, you want to be able to find ways to save yourself time so that you can invest that time back into income producing activities. So if you find yourself doing repetitive tasks, think to yourself, can it be templated? Can you hire a VA for $5 an hour that can do it for you? Can you outsource it because you've got the budget to do it for something like Fiverr? So starting to create standard operating procedures or systems and processes is one of the best things you can do, because it's going to allow you to scale. Time is the biggest constraint that people have, and it's one that most struggle with because they do not have efficiencies in their business, and they're doing the same thing over and over and over without templating or duplicating it. Because again, if you template it, then other agents can come in, take it over for you, and you start to build leverage in your business. But this is really important, because if you want to save time and be able to scale, you need to find efficiencies that can be repeatable by yourself or somebody else. Number 7 is being hyper consistent with the income producing activities. So anybody that knows me knows that every single day I create a power list. I've got, my notebook down here, if I could pull it up. And every single day, I'll just open it up here. I create my power list, and I create the 5 income producing activities that I need to get done every single day, and I cross them off. And this is really important because I want to break something down. Number 1, I said income producing activities. And number 2, I do the power list in the morning. And the thing that you need to understand is that with the power list tasks, they're the things you need to do in order to move the needle with your business. It's not the things you want to do all the time. It's the things you need to do. So every single day, if you were doing 5 things that are moving the needle in your business, then your business is going to scale. The problem is that 5 things could look like, doing home evaluations for these 3 properties, prospecting for 3 hours, recording 2 new TikTok videos, recording 1 new YouTube video, and doing data research for a new market that you want to advertise in. Like, these are things that take time, but will move your business forward. The problem is that most people do the things they want to do, like spending an hour designing a freaking thumbnail on Canva, and now they're just burning money. They're making themselves busy, but they are not being productive, and they are giving themselves an excuse to feel like they're being productive when they're really not. This is the same thing as going for coffee meetings with all these other agents and mortgage brokers and lenders. Like, just cut it out. Start to focus on the things that move the needle every single day. Do it in the morning when you have the most focus and the most energy, and then that's going to be one of the biggest things to help your business scale this year. Number 8 is continuing to learn. This is one of the big things, especially with the agents in my group at the Wolf Pack, where we do 4, now 5 mastermind calls every single week, diving into different strategies and different things that you can do to, again, scale your business, between, growing your team and your residual income, to social media marketing, lead generation, content, personal branding, or we even dive into fears, limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging behaviors, personal development in order to help get your mindset right. So continuing to learn is going to be one of the best things, because the more you know, the more you grow, and you want to make sure that your skill sets are constantly being sharpened and added to, so you've got more tools in the arsenal that you can continue to scale your business with. Number 9 is the riches are in the niches, and starting to double down and focus on farming in specific areas that you did well in 2021. So if you did a couple transactions in a specific market, then start to look at maybe running Facebook ads or Google ads or YouTube ads to that specific area, that community. Start to go there and post about that community. Make a couple YouTube videos about that community. The more you niche down and the more you become recognized for very specific things, the more that you're going to be identified as a specialist in that area, right? We all know the difference between a specialist and a generalist. The generalist, general practitioner doctor, versus a neurosurgeon. Which one gets paid more? Which one is more highly sought after? The one that is recognized for very specific things. Very same thing goes for real estate, and the more you can dominate a market and double down on it, the more you're going to get clients coming to you at scale. And number 10, last but certainly not least, is properly servicing your clients and over delivering on experience from start to finish to after finish. And the reason why I'm putting emphasis on after finishing is because most people have a great little possession gift, and then that's it. They never get in touch with them again. And this is why about 80% or more people don't work with the agent that they bought or sold with previously. So you want to over deliver on the experience after you close the transaction, because what you'll realize, and I've got a separate video on this if you want to comment below, but if you properly nurture and service each individual client, it should, over the lifespan of your career as a real estate agent, turn into 7 more clients. So each one turns into 7. You're 7xing your production just based on servicing the people that you already have. Because again, it's much cheaper and easier to get a client from somebody you've already over-delivered and created an exciting experience with than somebody that's never known you or doesn't know about you yet. So those are the 10 things you can do that are very easy, to be honest, in order to scale your business this year. And if you have any other tips, drop a comment below, because I'd love to know what your tip would be for anybody that's looking to scale their real estate business this year. So thanks so much for tuning in. As always, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.